Thank you. We have a special guest tonight.
Hi. I'm Jamie Hurd. I'm one of the school social workers, and then I also serve as the district homeless liaison.
So we invited Jamie to talk about a couple of specific programs that we have for supporting our students and some of the things that we have in the works for this fall to really support students who have some just challenges in participating and getting involved. So Jamie, take it away.
All right. Well, I guess we have good news to share first. If you aren't already aware, I worked with Ms. Benham to apply for a grant this spring through the Department of Education, and we were awarded $37,000 in homeless funds for this coming school year, which can be used to help support our education of staff surrounding the issue of homelessness and how to best support those students, as well as just kind of looking at our overall training, programming, etc. So that's a piece of good news first. Primarily, I was asked to just speak to the homeless population of our students and what we do to support them, what that looks like in Mason City. One of the questions that had come up, I believe it was from Director Kaler, was how many students do we typically see? What does that look like? So I have been serving as the homeless liaison since 2015 when Hal Menier retired. It was a duty that was then other duties as assigned. And so I took that on then. So since 2015, when I've been serving in this role, we've had anywhere from 60 identified students up to 123 was our highest. I do know, and something that Heidi and I have talked about a lot, is working even harder to help identify students and families that we could possibly be missing. It's not something that families are really likely to always share. For one, I think people have this vision of what homeless looks like, and they might not feel like they fit into that category. So that's a piece of it too, just educating even parents. But then also just knowing what that might look like, what teachers may see, what they may hear, so that they can also, they're kind of our first line of information and can help us say, I think there's an issue here, what do you think? And we can look into that more so that we can help support them. Another question that comes up a lot is, once we know, what do we do? So McKinney-Vento has been around since 1987, and it was reauthorized in 2015 by the Every Student Succeeds Act. So what a huge piece of it is identifying and then making sure those students are in school. A lot of times students who are homeless, even in Mason City, face that barrier of getting enrolled. And then if we look at like the upper level kids too, that building a schedule. Typically when you enroll at like a middle school or high school level, they want to know what classes you've taken. If you're in high school, how many credits do you have? What does that look like? So for homeless students in particular, that can be a huge barrier because they don't always have access to those records readily available to them. So one of the things with the homeless piece is that they're entitled to immediate enrollment and participation in school activities. So there are some kind of unique situations that I will talk with the high school registrar about, or an admin over there, about how we can get this kid started in school, knowing that that schedule then may have to change in a few days or a week when we receive the official records. However, we want them involved in education as soon as possible. We also have a transportation responsibility. So in Mason City, we have our 4 elementaries. Sometimes it's just a switch of buildings or boundaries within which they reside. And so if they say we're attending Jefferson and now we're in the Hoover boundary, but the family has felt like, I really think my child needs to stay at Jefferson, what the law tells us is that it is in the student's best interest to have that consistency when at all possible. So then we do work with Randy Meyer to make that all happen, make that all work as easily and feasibly as we can for those families. We also have students who might temporarily relocate to like Clear Lake. And so then we work again with Randy. He works with the Clear Lake District, because then you get into all of those crossing boundaries and other school district lines. So it really is a team effort then to figure out how we're going to get these kids to school and make sure that their education isn't interrupted by whatever homelessness or whatever kind of is impacting their family at that time.